Okay, so we're going to start on Box and Whisker Plots today. Box and Whisker Plots, like I said before, it's a way to organize data into an organizer. So you can take a whole bunch of numbers and organize it into what's called a Box and Whisker Plot. It has a box that you will draw, and it has whiskers that you will draw. Thus the name Box and Whiskers. Okay, there. So I'm going to give you a list of numbers, and I'm going to give you a task. So I want you to write these numbers down once I have them. I got to make them up here, so give me a second to do so.
Are we still using mean, code?
Nope. Okay, I want you to write that list of numbers down. It's called a data set. We learned that yesterday. It's a list of numbers. It's called a data set. Claire? Yes, they should be in order from least to greatest like we were working on yesterday. Okay, if I told you to split the data set in half, like if I wanted you to draw a line to split the data in half, where would I draw a line? Where would the line go in order to split it in half? Bailey?
Between 6 and 7.
Between 6 and 7, okay. Why did you choose between 6 and 7?
It's the middle.
It's the middle, okay. What do we normally call the middle? What did we learn yesterday? William? It's called the median. So this line right here is called the median. What number is it? What number is the median? Because notice it's in between 6 and 7. So what is the mean of 6 and 7, Donnie? 6.5. Okay, so I'm going to put a 6.5 right here. That's the middle number, is 6.5. That's what splits it exactly into two equally sized halves. Okay, next question. If I told you to split the first half in half, where could I draw a line? If I wanted to split the first half in half. Hannah? Between the 5 and the 6. Because it splits it into 2 and 2. So this right here is like the median of the first half. I'm going to give that a name in a little bit, but that's the idea behind it. What number is it? In this case, what number is it? Since it's between 5 and 6, Evelyn?
5.5.
5.5. Because it's halfway between 5 and 6. Or you do 5 plus 6 divided by 2. Remember we did that yesterday? You can add them up and divide by 2. Mm-hmm. Same thing with the second half of numbers. Where could I draw a line to split the second half of numbers in half? Ivan? Between 9 and 9. What's the average of 9 and 9? Jude?
0.
Not 0.
1.
No.
Huh?
What's 9 plus 9?
18.
Divided by 2? 9.
Oh, I said that.
So with this one, I'm going to come back and label these with words in a little bit because each of these numbers have a vocabulary term to them. But before I do that, I'm going to show you what the Box and Whisker Plot looks like. So I want you to draw a number line. And we have to count from the lowest number in our data set to the highest number in the data set. So I need you to count from 3 to 11 on a number line.
Wait. You say counted 3 to 11
On a number line, yes. So the minimum is 3, so we need to start our number line at 3.
Oh.
The maximum is 11, so we've got to count up to 11. On your homework for today, it's going to be a worksheet. The number line will already be created for you. Praise the Lord. Okay, are we counted from 3 to 11? Yes? You ready? Okay, this is what the box and whisker plot looks like. The box part of the graph goes from the middle of the first half to the middle of the second half. So we're going to draw a rectangle that goes from 5.5 up to 9. So I'm going to draw the left side of the box at 5.5, the right side of the box at 9, and I'm going to draw a rectangle that connects them.
What's the point of the box?
Oh, we'll get there. Right now, I'm just trying to show you how to create them. Okay? There's the box part. You also split that box by drawing a line where the actual middle is. So I'm going to draw a line up and down at 6.5.
That's not the actual middle.
No, it's not going to visually look like the middle, but it is the middle of our data set though. Even if it doesn't look like the middle. And then we draw a whisker in each direction, which is really just a line in each direction, out to the minimum and the maximum. So the minimum is 3. So from the box, from 5.5, I'm going to draw a line out to 3. And then you put a dot at that minimum value. And we're going to do the same thing to the right, except up to the maximum. So the maximum is 11. So I'm going to draw a line out to 11 and put a dot.
This is very.
Yeah, I know. I know. Mostly what we're doing today is creating the box and whisker plots. I will show you a couple of what they mean, so maybe it makes a little more sense to you. But we're really just working on creating them. So that's the entire box and whisker plot right there. That's what it looks like.
Oh, wow.
That's the creation of it.
That's pretty easy.
That's it.
That's it?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, now we've got to do some vocabulary. You probably don't have room under your data set though, do you?
Yes,
Tell you.
do.
Well, some of you put side by side, some of you did not though.
Show lines connecting them.
Let's just do a new list and we'll do vocabulary with a new data set. Can you write that list down?
Sure.
As number 2, yeah, this is example number 2, I was just coming up, use this as our list
Is that
though.
what the board was saying?
No, it's better organized.
Do you want us to put them in order?
You might want to just put them in order right away. You don't have to, but you can.
Oh, right.
They do need to be in order though, at some point you do have to numerize them. I don't think that's a verb. I don't think that's a word I can say. Now, order them. There, that would be it. Order them.
Well, you don't think-
Does anyone have the list written down
Yes.
entirely?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the notes. If you don't have it written, I'm gonna write it in a second. Claire, do you have the whole list? What is it?
9, 13, 14, 16, 19,
And what?
19.
19 again? Okay, so make sure you have a complete list. Got it? Okay, our first job is to find the middle number, the median. If I want to split that into 2 equal halves, where is the middle going to be? Where's the middle, Nathan?
14.5, so basically.
Now
In the middle.
14.5, but it's in between 14 and 16, right?
Yeah.
It's in between 14 and 16, it's right here.
So it's
What number is halfway
Oh.
between 14 and 16?
Yeah.
15.
15 in this case. Okay, so our median is 15. What is the middle of the left half? What's the middle of these 3? Mateo?
13.
13 is the middle.
So 93.
So that one is actually a number that's there. 13 is the middle. On the right side, what's the middle?
19.
Claire? 19, the middle 19, or the first 19 rather. Okay, so before we draw our box and whisker plot, we have to do some vocabulary.
Oh, no.
One is median.
We already have that.
Yeah, but median is the vocabulary you know. There's two more that you don't know. In this case, which one was our median? What was the middle?
15.
15. Okay, so the median is 15. The new one is lower quartile, also known as Q1. Lower quartile is the median of the first half.
That's not
It's just lower quartile is the fancy word for it. So in this case, the middle of the lower half is 13, so our lower quartile is 13. The abbreviation for that is Q1, which stands for quartile 1.
Can there be more than one quartile?
Well, actually, yes, because there's also an upper quartile, which is Q3.
What's Q2, the median?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes?
What's 6 here? What's that left? What's good?
Nobody sat there today, they were gone, but it might be Lily Dow's. I'll take it. Thank you. Okay, so the upper quartile is the middle of the upper half, and in this case it is 19. I suppose. Yeah. I'm gonna go back to median, because William asked a good question. He said, where's Q2? Q2 could also be called the median. So this splits it up into 4 equally sized sections. That's 1, which is why that's called Q1. That's 2, that's why it's called Q2. That's 3, that's why it's called Q3. And then there's the last section. The other things that you need to be worried about are minimum and maximum. What is the minimum in that data set? 9. Good. It's just the lowest number in the list. So the minimum is 9. The maximum is 19.
On the, maybe have to fill all these up.
You do, but it's already written out for you, so you just have to put the number in the right spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So every number is gonna be used except for the 14 and 16, or like the 2.
For this one, yeah.
That's all I have to do? On the whole? Or is there more?
And then you gotta create the box and whisker plot. On our number line, where do we have to count? Where do we have to start counting from, and where do we have to count to? Ivan?
To 19.
Good. Minimum to maximum. So we gotta start at 9 and count all the way up to 19. So go ahead and start making your number line.
You
Is this a new one?
you put the 16 or no?
Not yet. Right now, we're just writing the number line.
More space.
Where does the left side of the box begin? What number does the left side of the box begin at? Hannah?
13.
Good, at the lower quartile is where it begins. So maybe make a note that this 13 is left side of box. And where's the right side of the box?
19.
19. you have some notes in there. So we are gonna draw a box that goes from 13 to 19. Claire?
So there's only gonna be one whisker.
There is only gonna be one big whisker. Bless you. Okay, so there's Q1 to Q3 is where the box is. The median is a line that goes in the box at 15. Why did Claire say there's only one whisker? Because that doesn't make any sense. Usually you should have one going each side. Why do we only have one whisker? Bailey?
Because we can't go farther than 19.
Yeah, the right side, the Q3, the upper quartile, is at the maximum. So you don't go further than 19 because it's already at the maximum. So the only whisker we have is from the left side of the box down to the minimum of 9. I don't know, maybe we could draw a dot there too on the right side, just to show the maximum. Mateo?
-1.
Questions? Questions at the moment? No?
That's easy.
Okay, let me see. Somebody say my sugar. Okay, so let me give you an example of how one of these is used. Don't take any notes on this. You're not gonna be doing homework on this, not today. But just so you can understand why someone might use this. So at the top it says that the data of the per capita municipal solid waste generated in the United States from 1960 to 2005 are collected and a box and whisker plot is made. Read the plot and answer the questions. Okay? For our, we don't even need that. We don't even need to know what it is. We just need to know what the box and whisker plot looks like. So when it says, write the first quartile from the given plot, what would the first quartile be? So that's either lower quartile or Q1 is what we're looking for. So on a box and whisker, where is that located? Eliana?
3.3?
Yeah, it's that left side of the box. So if you go straight down, it's at the third dash after the 3, so that would be at 3.3. The lower quartile is at 3.3. What is the range of the data? That's one of those measures of central tendency that we looked at yesterday. You should also be able to get that from a box and whisker plot. Hannah?
It's
0?
no.
Not 0.
Okay, no, I'm confusing myself.
Okay. Mateo?
9.
Why 9? I don't think it's 9. Do you guys remember how to find range?
Not is the greatest minus the least.
Greatest minus the least. So the greatest is this maximum, the right side of the whisker.
Oh.
So it's at, what is that, 4.7?
Yeah.
That's the greatest, so we would do 4.7 minus 3.
Oh,
What's 4.7 minus 3?
1.7.
1.7 would be the range. So you can find measures of central tendency as well. What is the third quartile? In that box and whisker plot, I suppose I could zoom in. What's the third quartile? Carolyn?
I would say about like halfway, the halfway dash almost.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is too, so that'd be 4.5. So the third quartile would be at 4.5. Could you tell me what the median is? Another measure of central tendency. What's the median at?
Oh.
Nathan?
I'm kind of debating whether 4 or 4.1.
Yeah, it's 4
Because
or
it's kind of like in
4.1.
the middle.
Yeah.
4.05.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the median is that middle line, so it's
Yeah.
right in there somewhere, 4 or 4.1 maybe.
7.
Whoops. Here's another one. These are weights of a basketball team, the weights of the players. So what would the median weight be? The middle weight is really what that's asking. Jude? Want me to zoom in?
80.9?
So 189?
Yes, 189.
About 189 I would say would be the median weight. It also asks what's the maximum weight? So the player on this basketball team, who is the largest? What's the weight of the largest player? Eliana?
204?
Yeah, 204 maybe would be the maximum. We could say, we have what is the range? How would we find the range? Maybe not the answer, but how would I find the range? Donnie?
So you get the maximum and subtract the minimum.
Yeah, so what did we say? The maximum was 204. Maximum minus 175, and you could find the range. There's also something called the interquartile range. Anyone want to guess what that is? Because it's got the word range. You already know what range is. But what would the interquartile range be? Carolyn?
Almost like the range within the range.
It is. So what is it the range of? It's like a sub-inner range of the data. Eliana?
It is first quartile to third.
Good. It's from left side of the box to right side of the box is the interquartile range. So interquartile range would be 199 minus 181.
18.
So there's a bunch of questions that can be asked about a box and whisker plot. We're just not going to be working on that part of it today. Okay?
So our homework is this.
It's going to be not this. No, it's going to be creating the box and whisker plot.
Oh, that's online?
I just wanted you to see what can be done with it. No, it's a worksheet.
Are we-
Any questions before we stop the video?
Stop it.
Any questions that you need to ask about the box and whisker plot?
No.
No? Okay, go ahead and